it was like a creative chapter for faith.
It was due Friday,
Okay.
but
like,
we didn't really
know
have
how
anything
to
to
right?
do for that. All right.
No, I'm yeah, don't worry.
And then later this week, I think there's something about like a studio invoice.
Yes.
I didn't know what that means.
Hang in there.
Okay, I will try.
Okay. We will address your needs, questions, concerns in just a moment. Hello, Anna. And I think Allison is out and about. She should be there.
Yeah, I saw her just go on.
Let's pray and then begin. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your mercy that's new every morning. Thank you for a beautiful day. Pray that you would just give strength to our teams, be with the volleyball team, as we get to celebrate the new gym. I pray you give me some. It's okay, Ash. Rather than holding up and doing an awkward, just keep waiting because you never know how long someone will be detained or whatever. Hopefully you weren't detained.
I mean, talking to professors counts.
Yes, we can be we can be very detaining. Hopefully it doesn't feel like jail, maybe sometimes. Well, for the invoice, I'm going to give a ton of freedom on that. I have, oh, you do me a favor. I forgot to grab. Do you see that there's like a Burberry plaid top close to all my pictures in the corner?
It's the tan plaid one.
Tan plaid, yes, sorry.
There you go.
Burberry, you knew exactly what to look for. Okay.
Burberry.
It's a perfume. So, sorry.
Sorry.
Associations are
Wait,
very
plaid is
important. That's what Burberry looks
It's like the packaging, like
Yeah. So,
like if you look at Burberry, that'll come up.
all right. So, Marianne, I have all my old stuff that I use. Now, keep in mind, I hope that you're going to try. I know that you're busy. But when soccer season isn't as hectic, I know this is a busy season. Life is seasons. I have a whole list of wishful days of when I'm not so busy.
Okay. When you're not busy, which will never happen.
However, the summer does come and you do have some time to do some other things sometimes. I know I work and you have family, and I get that, but sometimes I will have where I'll be up in the morning at 4 in the morning and I'm wide awake. That's when I can do some of my wishful things. And I maybe will only do one out of 100 that I have listed. But it still feels good to be able to do that. So this is like a place where I created a file for absolutely everything. So on my website was like the courtesy information. I also, in everybody's notebook, because I always gave them a piano notebook, just in case they weren't sure about missed lessons, there it is. So everything was kind of not only on the website. With good marketing, you don't just touch it once and expect them to get it, okay? So I might have explained to you how to do a project, but maybe not to the others. And so sometimes you don't realize what you are communicating and not communicating. So I always put a welcome letter, courtesy information, contact information, that kind of stuff. So my invoicing, I have old recitals, I have my around the world recital, and then have a wonderful summer. And they all got to dress in their place where they were playing from. So some wore a Norwegian outfit and some wore a Hawaiian outfit. It was great fun. And it's more, my Christmas ones, I tend to be more serious. This is the old school registration form that I did. I'd like all of ours to be online. All of our submissions to be online, to keep it all in one place and not having to keep the form or they handed me at church. This is awkward. They fill everything out. This is a reality. This is a truth. One time I was in children's with Cubbies and someone handed me a check and I said, "Can you please get that to me at the lesson. I won't charge you for a late fee or anything, but just a little concerned I won't handle it properly. And I did tell them, church is not supposed to be mixed with business. God did not often act in a very passionate way, but when did he? The money changers. We're making his temple a place of business. So I just was firm about, nope, we're not going to do that. I'm a pastor's kid. And so my mom said she wouldn't host Pampered Chef parties or Mary Kay just because she never wanted someone to think that she was trying to make money off of them. So I'm not saying that you can't teach church. I just be careful. All right, so there's family agreements, all of that. Be careful. Make sure that you never, ever, ever tread into that. So I have all kinds of stuff that I stored in here. My invoice, I liked to, I just had like a tuition and rates. And then on the back of that was their billing. Okay, that's how I did it. So they could see exactly, oh, I'm taking this. Oh, I have a sibling discount. And just reminding them of those details. I'm not saying you have to do a sibling discount, but if you have 4 kids from the same family, you know, it's kind of nice because I told them the only way they get their sibling discount is if they go back-to-back lessons. Mm-hmm. So if Mrs. Jerry Nicholson remembers to take her kids to lessons tomorrow, you have 4 people in a row that you're going to have lessons. I think that's probably a pretty good thing. So giving them a little discount is kind of, you don't have to do it. It's just something that I did. So I have weekly incentives. So I gave them a sheet about that. That was all in their notebook. Practice requirements and hints. I should probably give them all to my piano, my current students. I put on Canvas. I don't know how many of you read the pages that I put in Canvas. Do you ever look at that stuff?
Sometimes.
I put a lot of good stuff here.
Half the time I don't get added to piano until halfway through the semester.
Oh dear.
I don't know what it is about,
what's that? Who is your registering person?
Well, it's usually because since it's a private lesson and it's my private, like you can't just register
Yeah,
for them. You've got to be. So it's funny because it seems like every semester I don't get added.
Yeah.
I'm in it now.
I
am
can do it until the drop add period. But once the drop add period comes, then the registrar has to do it. So if you notice before the drop add period, let me know because I can fix that.
This semester I think I actually did get added.
Did you get it? Well, just so you are aware, Pages is a place that I put a link to that inclusive piano studio where you can watch multiple. I buy the magazine, and so then I have access to all of the digital content. If you want any handouts or anything, you just let me know and I will try and help you out that way. So just showing you, this is all stuff. I didn't include that in there, but I included one of these in every single one. And so in the fall, I used just a plastic, one of those that you could hole punch and keep in a nice plastic one that could be wiped off because inevitably they spill stuff on it. It's a little more sturdy so that it doesn't fall apart. And I bought that for them as part of their fees at the beginning of the year. And it helps for me. I should show you. I don't know if I have any of my old practice sheets. If I don't, I'll make some more. So there's some forms, receipts I kept all in the same spot. Great fun. My composer of the month things that I did, I kept in here. Lots of fun. They maybe didn't like it as much as I did, but I felt good about that. So practice requirements, recital stuff I put in there, courtesy information. What else did I'm not finding my bill. Okay. All right, well, if I find my billing, but I'd like you to experiment with this because you can do all of your billing on this, which I think is fantastic. Why are you?
Oh, I was just,
sighing?
for those of us that don't have students or do, what do you want us to do with it?
Just create something. You okay?
Make something up.
Look at okay, right over
So-
here. I put it. Okay.
So that's fine.
All right. So right here, you put a bunch of content. You need to figure out. So what does that mean for tuition for the semester or tuition for the month? Okay. And you will know for each of your clients whether they selected by the month or by the. I would not allow by the lesson. Just because it can be hit or miss. And is that the best for the student? If I allowed my children to go to school when they felt like they would like to go to school, how often would they go? Like every other day, maybe. You know, kind of miss it after one day at home. So, but is that the way that their learning will be most enhanced? No, unfortunately. I wish that we could just, you know, take sabbaticals every other day. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that sound nice? So experiment with it. Don't take it too seriously. I want you to be professional in your business practice. This is the key thing that I want you to do. So think about it a little bit. You already wrote to me what your fees are going to be. Now you're just going to, what is that going to look like? What does that mean they write the check for? Or are you going to have a square that you're going to scan on your phone? How are you going to handle that? PayPal? Those are things that I want you to work through. Now, it can be in a rough draft format. I'm not thinking, I want you to begin the process. We're going to actually fine tune things in Piano Pedagogy too. But I want you to at least think of, how do you want to handle that? I always put this color sheet on my door that just said, just a friendly reminder that tuition is due today. And I always called it tuition because then they know that they're not just paying for the lesson. They're also paying for the professional development I'm doing and some of the other things that go into a business, okay? You get what you expect.
So you said like not by the week or by the lesson, and you said
By the
preferably
month.
by the month. But would there be another option like by a year would be kind of
Oh, I usually, my proposal for Faith Music Academy is going to be by semester. So we're going to have a fall semester just like we do with the end the spring. And they commit to a fall and they commit to a spring. Even if they cancel in the middle, they can continue to take the lessons, but there's no refund. Does that make sense? So you pay by semester. And that way it's ensuring that you're not going to have, as soon as school's done, bye, you're not operating studio. You don't need to worry about making up time. And you can even look at the calendar. How many weeks does that mean you'll actually teach? That you can figure out how much that would be for your semester. So that's basically, you can give options so they can check, okay, I'm going with a whole semester. So then they can see right there. They don't have to ask how much you have to check. It's clear on your website, it's clear on your documentation, available both digitally and in print. Because you might have a request for either one. I would prefer paying by the semester. Oof, it hurts the checkbook, but I'd rather just be done with it than have that looming over me. I don't want to be irresponsible, but I have a lot of other fish to fry. So, and if it's cost prohibitive, that's where I wouldn't even have week by week. That's where they would just need to talk to you about that. And then you would deal with that case by case basis. You wouldn't publicize that because you don't want it to be a studio wide thing. Just deal with that person that way. I had one family. Actually, I've always had one scholarship family I took. I've always had one that couldn't afford lessons, and I took them on a scholarship basis, but they had to commit to coming to lessons and to practicing. And that was kind of our agreement. That I was willing to do that, but they were going to be committed to it. So it's not that but I didn't publicize that. I wasn't like, I offer free lessons if you need them, you know, like, because then, success with no sacrifice is at the cost of someone else's sacrifice. Think about that for a moment. So that's from Dr. Jim, from a guy who gave us some education about accreditation and how to read. So success with no sacrifices coming at someone else's sacrifice. So you don't want to eliminate that there's some sacrifice. So of either time and commitment to that space. And if there's no skin in the game, they're not going to get much out of it, unfortunately. If you paid $0 for your college education, would you care if you failed a few courses? It wouldn't bother you quite as much, would it? But when you have to retake the class and pay again, that's kind of a downer. That's a big downer. So we're talking about technology today. So you have some information already in place, hopefully, to help you with that. I'm not expecting Google invoices and type in your information. It does not need to be, give me a printed version and a digital version. That makes sense? So you're going to send like a Word file and you're going to print one out. Because I like to have these so that I can look at them.
I'm still kind of confused as to what exactly is it. Like,
Okay.
What is it?
Okay. You guys have not had enough bills in your life? Okay.
What do you want us to write down on it? Just like
is it just
So
like a paper
you're
with
exactly what you
Oh.
already have. So at the headings, Sonata Piano Studio, and then like your address and your contact information. And then let's say
so it's-
Sarah Jorgensen, 30-minute lesson for the semester. Boom.
Oh, so it's just like a paper with a bunch of
Okay.
information.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. In my head, it's like ultra clear, and I thought I had in my little Burberry bag an invoice.
Like it was clear what we were talking about. I just didn't know like what.
Yeah.
Exactly
What you
all.
wanted us
Okay.
to do.
Free printable invoice. You just are going to type in all this information, blah, 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 and then there's going to be a balance due and all of that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And back when I was a student, did these things exist quite as much? No, they didn't. Okay, but now we have them. And now, do you have to use a template like that? No, you could use Word. But this is the essentially where, okay, you have two people, let's say you're giving 2 lessons. You charge $15 a lesson. You took 12 lessons, so what is that? About around $200. And then balance due. Okay?
So it's mainly focused around money.
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Like virtually
trying
now.
to make sure.
Yes, it's focused on the money. But it is not all about money. But I encourage you to tie in all of mine. Did you see how all of mine look the same? Each page. Now, this is old school. I know this is like 10 years ago. However, I made sure all of my business cards, all of everything I did was the same. Okay, because I wanted to create a brand. Like when someone sees my magnet, they associate it with me. Hopefully positively. Okay? You're hoping for that. So make sure that you're just consistent. The way that it looks, that you're presenting yourself professionally on multiple platforms is the key thing that I wanted to think of. Okay, does that guide you enough with your studio invoice? Hopefully, Marianne, you too. But there are lots of things, and we're every day new ways of how you could do invoicing. I used to have a box for their checks that they walked in. They just put them in, and that way I was never even touching it. There was a reminder on my door. I never said one word about it. But there was a reminder on the door, so if a mom helped their child come in, oh, wait, or I'll do the PayPal right now. And then there was a little box that they just slipped it in. It was a really cute box. I don't have it anymore. They just put it in. And then at the end of the day, I would go there and I would see, oh, it looks like Sarah forgot to pay, or whoever. I tried to pick a random name. So then I can just say, hey, just so you know, if you get it in by next week, you'll still be okay. Because I usually try to give the reminder a little bit beforehand. And that is helpful. I have done an email automated reminder. I found that the one on the door was the most helpful because if you're running around a lot, even if you looked at an email at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's not that helpful, honestly, right? An immediate reminder is helpful as well.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I read your email in the morning and then I get to the evening and I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I live where you live, not literally, but I need tangible touch points to help me. I really do. I have on my oil change, there's a sticker on there that tells me when to do it. Because I will forget. I will not remember what the mileage was when I got my last oil change. I guarantee it. Yes, ma'am.
What would that look like when you get fake music academy going? Like,
I'm hoping to be something like this.
okay.
Right now, the pictures you submitted, all of the things you've been giving me, I'm kind of culling through them, picking your brains a little bit as well. But wanting to be sure I'm not going to be the students you have blowing them out of the water with tuition or being too much under either, because I don't want it to be a shockwave either direction. And I would like it to be all online. So I don't want to be dealing with calls. I'm not saying I'm not eager to talk to parents. I just don't, I want as much on the website as possible to guide them and answer their questions. And also I'm hoping to have like a lot of automated responses. So they inquire about lessons, that they get an automatic response. We take that information and say, hey, Sarah, we just got an inquiry. There's this family, they have 2 kids, and I think they'd be a great fit for you. It looks like you have an opening. Why don't you go ahead and contact them? Where you're not actually dealing with any initial cold calls, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm hoping that all of the billing will be handled and you'll just receive a check. So you actually won't be touching billing. I think it'll be really nice. Now, the one thing that you'll have to keep is tabs on would be making sure you fulfill all of your commitments as far as the number of lessons that we charge them for that they get. Would be something that would be and we'll still have like, I'm hoping to have like Google, or let's say you each had 10 students or 5 students. Okay, you're all going to collaborate to do a recital. I'm going to get someone that's going to share the gospel at the end and pray. Okay, so there's going to be a Google recital form and you're going to upload all of your students' recital information, and then I'm going to force you to pair up and do a duet. So 2 people each doing a duet that will begin the recital and end the recital. So there'll be some collaboration, but for the most part, you're just going to do your teaching, do your gig, and be off to the races. I've contemplated having where we have a group class that's like more of a performance class, a music theory class, that we take turns teaching. So we'll see. Down the road. Yes, ma'am.
For the invoice that we're making, do you want us to use the prices that we're all, I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead and use the ones that you already wrote for the ones. Now,
Okay,
are you ever going to use that? You might change it. And I hope that you will every year do a cost of living increase. Because if you just do a little bit each year, it's never a biggie. It's just a cost of living. Sometimes that's 1%. Okay, so if you're charging 16, that may mean now that you're going to charge 17 or maybe 16.50. It's not going to be a big change. But you just get in a habit of that you just always do a cost of living increase. Maybe there's a 0% cost of living, then don't do it. But just so they expect that every year I'm going to do a cost of living increase. Because most jobs, wouldn't you say that they typically will do that? Most jobs. I'm going to tell you, yes, they do, okay? They're going to get a cost of living increase. So you're not really being professional by not following business standard. Very important. Yes.
Would you want us to do an invoice, or like if we have that app, would you want us to just use that instead of making an invoice?
You absolutely could fiddle around. The only thing that might be good to just do a random invoice is because this all might change. Okay? Because I'm contemplating using this platform for that. So fiddling around with it. Not sure. Okay, so let's go on to discuss this. Oh, goodness. All right.
So still do an invoice, but you play around with them.
Use the template. So, I mean, eventually I want to kind of go towards this and make it live, but let's make it sure we're using, you can fiddle around with it, but what you submit, can you just give me like a invoice?
Yes.
That'd be really lovely. Okay.
Just like the Word document.
Yeah.
Okay.
Type in template or online. Either one's fine.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay.
Boom.
Don't. That was my applause.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought like computer was falling apart.
No, no, that was an animation. Did you enjoy it? Okay. So with technologies, did you want to hear it again?
Not really.
Okay.
Well,
So
no,
navigating the new and exciting. So I'll turn it down.
On the
Marianne will surely get to hear it, I'm sure. Why did it stop? I don't like you. Oh dear.
And this is why we should not use technology.
Yeah. Goodness. I don't know what to tell it. All right. It's being
Oh
stinker.
no, I can't get in.
Okay. More than 4 out of 5 students agree that digital learning can improve their education. 84% said that. 81% say it saves time. And then 81% think it boosts their grades. So it's college students boost their grades. Do you think that those coming behind you are going to be more digitally minded?
Probably anybody will be
Allison, that's valid. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh.
Not valid. That wasn't the word. I experienced that too, because for me, these phones were not a thing when I was a college student. They just didn't. You had, if you were cool, you had a pager. Remember those things? And that was only if you were like a manager or a CEO or like the president or someone important had those. BlackBerry was another device that could kind of do
I
texting.
remember when Blackberries.
Yeah. So that's my college experience. Email was like a very wonky. If they had dial-up, they'd have to wait really long, and you're like, oh, someone on the phone, you couldn't use it. So email was kind of clumsy. It was awful. And internet was really bad.
When you were on the phone, oh my goodness.
It was the worst. It was the worst. So we've changed a lot. So now coming up, we need to be really, even though I don't prefer working with technology, because there are challenges. There's no question, and they are annoying. I really find myself there a lot, but it's really helpful and really important. So hang in there. Piano teaching apps. This is something that I gave you free resource. It's really overwhelming, all the stuff you could do. Now, I will tell you, I chose to use JoyTunes, the Piano Maestro app, and I'm loading it on my phone. It is a fairly big app, so it does take quite a bit of space, but I love it. And the reason I love it, it is something that you can put on the piano and you can play on the piano, and it hears you and keeps score for your rhythm and your notes, timing, even dynamics it can do, and it's recording it. And if they get it perfect or close to perfect, I think it's 95% or above in each category, they take their picture and it sends it to their mom and dad. And so I had a profile. It creates a gift for everybody, and they get to pick their own gift. So like it was fun in my studio, and they would see the scores and the ranking of each of the other students in my studio, and that was motivating to them too. Like, oh, she's to that level. Okay, what do I have to do to beat her? Well, she's put in this much practice, or she's achieved these benchmarks. Yeah. Yeah, so I love the Piano Maestro. My kids like it. So it's something that they can do. I like it best played on the piano, but it also can be played on the iPad itself. It creates a piano keyboard. The disadvantage to that, do you think it requires more energy to push the keys down than it would pushing buttons on the iPad? So the physical coordination, I like as much as possible to be doing on there. However, am I still learning about, because there's a metronome thing at the side that keeps the beat for them. And then when they're doing really well, the sun comes up. And he's like covering his ears when they're not doing very well. He looks silly. He looks like a really silly multi. Have you fiddled with it a little bit?
No, not
You've never tried it? You should try it. It's cute.
You should do it in my lesson.
Oh, I'll have to, I thought of bringing, I was going to bring my iPad. But my iPad's not hooked up to the internet right now, so I have to get Mr. Graham to hook it in. So I really wouldn't be able to show you as well. Oh, goodness. Children. Okay, so I highly recommend Piano Maestro. It does cost money to have the full membership. You can have a free version. The full membership, you have nothing unlocked. So then they can play anything.
You mean nothing locked?
Correct, nothing unlocked. Do you know how there's like nail painting apps? That there's certain colors of nail polish that you can't have unless you buy them that cost money? Silly. Totally. Allison's like,
You know about that?
Yeah. I have a little sister.
yeah, I mean, I just know because I have 4 girls that there's certain hair colors as well as nail colors that you have to buy. And they've asked
it's
me,
like
and
that
I
with
said, no way.
any kind of apps
Yeah.
like that, even like the world building ones and stuff like
Yeah.
that. There's always-
So you can do lots of in-app purchasing, but there's accompaniment as well. And I love the accompaniment. It's really fun and they're very well done. And there's categories: method books, Christmas, classical, pop. And they're aged, they're leveled. It's really fun. And they're accompanying and super fun. So this is giving me an ad. How nice of you. Play the piano like you've always wanted. It can work on your little iPhone. It can work on the iPad. Trusted by millions of teachers. I'm starting from scratch. I learned as a child. I have lots of experience. That was not an option. I simply will listen to my piano. So they don't have to have a piano even to have this app. So anyway, it's a cool app. You should try it. Experiment with it. I didn't choose. It's still playing. Thank you. Thank you for that lesson of words. I chose to specialize in Joy Piano Maestro, and I paid for the subscription. You cannot subscribe to everything, but I thought that that was the most helpful app that I found. Yes, music theory games are great, but I wanted something that was interactive and kept score for me and kept the parents involved, and that one developed.
What was it called? Simply Piano or?
It's Joy 2 Simply Piano. It's Piano Maestro. It's the same thing. They come up with new names of the same thing.
Oh,
It's a
the
rebrand.
Piano Maestro.
So I put some of these little piano teaching apps. Why is it doing this? Okay. All right, that's annoying. Okay. I'm demonstrating how much I like technology right this minute. Okay. All right. Sorry for the delay, you guys. Dee, 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 dee. The computer is not doing well. Okay. Okay. You guys are like getting bored with this. Okay. I do have a handout for you. Okay. Take one and pass it down. The 25 ways to use music in the classroom or technology in the classroom. Some of these do not work for us. I realize this. We are not a classroom in every way. Marianne, I'll post one for you online. Under Pages, which has lots of information for all of you to enjoy. Not just for Marianne, but for you as well. So, do you have the same thing twice?
Yes, but it's only one of them is double-sided.
Wait, what?
Wait, what did you get?
You got the wrong one. You got the original.
Well, I'm missing the second page then.
One of those.
There should be plenty. I made 5. Thank you, dear. Okay.
Why are we traveling?
Oh goodness, stop! Don't even look at it for a moment. You're
Taking
getting
us to Europe on the musical field trip.
Where are they traveling? Where?
Okay. For a moment, look up at the teacher for just a moment.
One moment.
Okay. These are designed for a classroom. Are you a classroom when it's an individual private lesson?
Yes,
The
and no.
world is a classroom.
Yes and no.
Way to beat those off.
Okay. The world is the classroom. You are right, Allison. There are things that these will be great for. Here, I have ready Itzhak Perlman playing. If I had a violinist, do you think that I want them to get to experience listening to him play? If you have a student that has any disability, he has polio. And he's one of the greatest violinists to ever live. So that's inspiring, and I think it's really important. So that's what I think of virtual field trip. That they may never get to hear him live in concert, but you have a chance that you can take just a vacation. And I put headphones on sometimes with them and let them experience just a mini vacation to a whole new world, a whole new place. So that's what I think a virtual field trip could be for a piano student. Now, another thing that they could do, I thought of buying a bunch of green fabric and pretending I'm the piano guys, and let's try and record ourselves with mountains in the background behind us.
Or just move the piano, that's simple.
Oh dear, dealing with piano movers is the worst. So I have been torn up more with the piano movers than I ever at Faith Campus. So videos for mini lessons. I strongly advocate this. Just a short, not long, their attention spans are short. Create just a little pedal video that you're going to watch. I made this video and I want to watch it together. I just bought my own tripod and I bought a webcam so that I can experiment with making some of these things. Some of these things you only have maybe 5 minutes to address it in the lesson. Do you think it'd be great if you sent it to the parent to continue watching at home or put it on your studio website? So if they ever want to watch it again, they can. Now, the first few videos you make, are they going to be tremendous?
Yes.
Mine aren't. I'm just telling you. I started doing it. A lot of them are bad. They're just terrible. But I'm learning through it, and there's still some valuable thing. And I'm learning how to edit on YouTube, and I'm learning a lot of stuff. So hang in there and just kind of be the resilient learner I know you can be. Coordinate a live video. So God willing, we're having a guest lecture on Wednesday. So that will be with Piano Safari. So that's a new experience. I cannot tell you as much as they can about their own method they've created. Okay? You can look at it, but it's a whole other thing to hear from the author, their perspective. Play podcasts. Are you guys advocates for podcasts? Do you do a lot with them?
I like podcasts.
Podcasts, mixed reviews?
I like them for when I'm working because then I can
Yeah.
listen to something interesting. It's a little more interesting than just music.
Yeah.
And I can
Well, I fold laundry. I watch webinars. Anyway, I'm here. But I want to make the most of my time. So let's say I'm putting it away so I don't have time to watch it. Just pause her. She'll be ready to go when I come back. Learning on the go. So the podcasts, in your piano lesson, I would not play a half-hour podcast for you 30 minutes together. But let's say there was a little segment that was really inspirational. I think that'd be cool to incorporate that. Yes, ma'am.
It could even be the sort of thing where if you had like some sort of cool music podcast you wanted to send their parents or something to say, hey, they could listen to this week and it connects, or even if it was like history based, like we found a cool podcast about the composer of the month or something like that, you could say, hey, they could listen to this.
There's so many different things that can be really helpful. Add multimedia elements to your presentations. So that's why I had applause for that one, just for you. They love sound effects. I want to have a drum with my kids just so I can go, but when I make a bad joke. Send adaptive content. So I just got from my daughter's teacher, Prodigy, Extra Math, and Epic. I downloaded them all. She recommended them. I trust her insight. I've met her. She's a wonderful teacher. Been teaching for 20 years. She would never recommend something that wouldn't be tremendous for my child. 2 of them are free. One costs $2. I was happy to invest in that. To be mindful of like, hey, parents, I just discovered this amazing app. I think it'd be great if you wanted, your child loves music theory, check it out. Here's the link or whatever it was. That's helpful. Share a calendar. So on here, if there was one platform where all of us could have our calendar, I could see Sarah's full. I'm not even gonna ask her. Her available space is already spoken for. Logan has openings. Okay, I'm gonna send him that referral. Or you can post, oh, I just lost those 2 students. Now you can clear out your schedule. And it's kind of a virtual place that we can know, oh, I want to do a makeup lesson. Is there a studio space available? Yeah. It doesn't look like she teaches in 141 or whatever it is. So that you can plan. And so you can tell your parent, hey, come to blah, blah, blah at blah, 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 and I'll be there for blah, blah, blah a long time. Okay? So virtual manipulatives. I had a friend that she donated a lot of stuff. She taught for 57 years. She's still teaching. She had where the students would come in and they'd start on lab time, on doing music theory and that kind of thing, and then have their lesson afterwards. I think there's some merit to that, and I don't know how we would go about that. I've also thought an interactive theory class together and talking about music history and theory and performance. I think that sounds more fun to me. A mixed media kind of experience. We'll see. Learning stations. So if we did do whatever, a group class, I'd like to have like a little instrument petting zoo one week, bring in all the strings and they get to experience them. And give them some scores. You know those mini scores that we have? Those cute mini scores? Making sure all the kids had a mini score that we can listen with score. How cool would that be? So like and we do stations. Okay, now we're done with that. Now we're moving on. We did our petting zoo. Now let's do a music history station. Now we're going to do a music theory station. Now we're doing our performance station. Okay, that's how, even though this is designed for classroom, I get that. How can I do this cleverly? And even in your lessons, maybe you are a private lesson, but could you just take a moment and maybe come over and check out a book on Beethoven, if that's the piece they're studying, even if it was a 5-minute vacation to learn about Beethoven? Let's find one cool fact about him. So anyway, oh boy. So save time, Twitter. Do any of you do Twitter?
Nope. Pretty sure.
So none of you tweet. Okay.
Just kidding.
Who's the only person who uses it?
Brandon Fritz. And he makes up for all the rest of us.
There's a lot of things on there.
He likes it a lot.
Okay.
Talk about it.
I think for us, you want to pick one outlet that is going to be your primary one and kind of keep it current. Okay. I realized you cannot keep LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat all going at breakneck speed. That's too much. That's overload. Get one medium and excel at it, okay? Make sure you're posting at least once a week. Doesn't have to be a lot. You should be reviewing other people's websites. Does mine, is it at or above the level? Hopefully that you would be above the other websites you see. Gather student feedback. Okay, part of the reason I showed a survey, another thing, high school students say that 69% of their teachers inspired them to the career they chose. I thought that was really high. So you have a huge impact on the high school student. So coordinated Zoom interviews, graphs and statistics, I think that those have value. Learning stations, all of those good things. Tonera, we'll go over here. Tonera, I'll pull this up on this page. You can request a demo. You can start a free trial and discover all you want about Tonera. It is a similar platform to this. It is a little different in that you do more in terms of performance on Tonera. Okay, so you record and they can share recordings with friends within your studio. It's kind of a more
music, social media.
yeah, music, social media. I've watched a very brief interview on that. Okay, you can earn points and you can see all kinds of stuff. You can put those down. Just keep those for reference. Put it in your piano notebook. And be thinking of ways that you can incorporate more technology into your stuff. It's 12:36. That's fast. Don't get afraid. I won't keep you long. Features. Teachers can create and organize all kinds of content. It is cool. I think you have to decide what you kind of are going to go with because there are multiple. Obviously, this one's free and you're getting the full version. The pricing of Tonera is not bad. I thought it was fairly reasonable. It's like per student pricing. And there's a leaderboard, so it's kind of an incentive program for your studio. This is more business and organization. So you can do free trial for 30 days, but this is a 1-year thing. So I'm too busy right now to try it for 30 days because I wouldn't try it. So, but maybe you would experiment with it over Christmas or something to see. And you can create random students and some of the real students just experience it. So unlimited students is $30 a month. 40 students, $24.95 a month. Grow, $19.95. Starter, $11.95. 10 students. So it's not too bad. And so it kind of depends on if you would get the value out of it or not. Okay. That's a great website. Blah blah blah. Okay. We have 2 minutes. For those of you taking education, what technology do you find the most helpful? I mean, we're all in education. In a pedagogy class. What technology do you find the most helpful? Or maybe that you don't use a lot of technology.
Kahoot is fun.
Kahoot quizzing. That is another one that I didn't put on there, but that's a really fun thing. If you were doing a group demo class, or that'd be fun to do a quiz after you present about music history. Do a Kahoot quiz where they all can use their phones and log in. I fiddled around with that. That's a fun thing. It's a really fun thing. Anything else? Quizlet is like, I mean, we're not a super content-based, so that may not be exactly what we need for piano, but it's a cool resource if you're preparing for a music theory exam, or it might be fun. Maybe fun isn't the word. Helpful. Canvas, I think, is one of the best platforms for that I have used for education. There are weaknesses, but would you say every program, because it's internet based, unfortunately, we deal with that? So, have a blessed day. You are dismissed. If you discover a really great app or resource, let us know. Send me a link and I'll post it on pages for you guys to not look at.
It's not directly it's not directly education based, but I use Spotify every day.
Huh.
And I pay for it. I pay for. I mean, right now I have the student version, which is nice. If you get Hulu too, which is kind of fun. But yeah, Spotify is nice, and it's worth it to pay for it in my opinion, because then you can make your own playlists and you can download them, so you have them for offline listening.
Yeah.
And it's
So they can
slow
download
down.
their piano songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if they're playing at a more advanced level, if they have like classical pieces they're working on,
Pull
you know,
down the
like
little kid song.
yeah, yeah. You're not gonna be able to find like